Yeah, hello there and welcome back, and let us continue with our lesson over here. And today we are going to learn about the grid view and how we can create a grid in our Flutter application as well as in the SwiftUI and with the Jetpack Compose. So let us get started over here, and first of all I'll go to my Flutter project over here and let me add a new screen over here, and let's call this one as something like a grid view underscore ser screen dot the dot file, and let's create a stateless widget since we are not going to add any widget. So grid grid view screen over here, and let us import our material package over here, and from here let's go and return the scaffold and also add the app bar. So app bar, let's add that app bar, and then we will add a body over here, and with the body let's add the grid view over here, and we'll use GridView.builder since that is more performative. Let's add our grid delegate and the item builder, and on top of that I'll also add the item count. So let's generate a 50 item over here. So what I need to do is I need to provide the grid delegate first of all. So let us remove this one and create a const variable of SIL sliver grid, right? So grid, it should be sliver grid delegate, and I think I will use a fixed crossed axis count, so I can define that particularly the fixed axis count over there. So let us arrange this one properly, and let me arrange a bit over here. And for the axis count, let's give a 3. That will give us a 3 column over here, 1, 2 and 3 column. And also in the item builder it will take us the context and the index. So that should be fine, and I think I can remove that one, and also from here, and I can close it from here to over there. And from here I can also give some of the padding. So let's add us the item first of all. From here I'll return a simple image from here, and I'll use the image from the assets over here, and with this I can provide the image name first of all. So assets dot, I have the image 2 over here dot the I guess it's a jpg, and with this I can define the fit. So let's say a fit of the box fit, I guess let's use the box fit.fill, and just close that one. And once we have that, what we can do is we can run our project over in our application. So let's go and run it from here, and here you can see we have our grid view over here, but we need to add some padding over here. So let's go over here and add the cross axis spacing over here. So that will be of let's say of 8, but let's give it as a 4. I guess it should be too big. And also the main axis spacing, so let's add it a 4 to over here, and let's try to rerun. So now we get our grid view, and if you want to increase the spacing or the padding, that should be fine. So we have created our grid view on our Flutter project. So simple grid view with the GridView.builder, and let's move on to our SwiftUI project over here, and let's create a grid over there. And in the previous lesson we had created this particular list, and let's create a new file over here, and let's give a name over here. I'll select a SwiftUI view from here, and let's give a name of I'll give an image, I think an image grid view, and just create it. So it should create a new file for us, and here let's remove this one, and let's go and create a scroll view first of all, since the grid view by default is not scrollable. And here I will use a lazy grid over here, and it takes a column over here which is of a grid item and also of the content. So I think let me arrange this one properly. So for the column, let's go on to the top over here and let's create a column. So var columns, which is of equals to the it's an array, and inside this let's define a 3 column that we want over there. So I need a grid item over here, and that should be of a grid item. And with this grid item, I will just say it's of a flexible, so we don't define the fixed size over here. And let's create this one a 3 grid item column each of the for this column we are defining a 3 grid item. So I can just pass this column over here now, and that should be the one that we need over there. And I need to close this one, and once we have that lazy column with the grid item, I'll use a for each over here with this for each loop. Let me create an item from 0 to the 50, right? So 0 to the 50, and that should give us a 50 item, or a list of the 50 item. And here we will define the let's say the data in, that should be fine. And here we also need to provide the unique ID for this particular each item. So ID, we don't have a unique ID, so I'll just say dot the self for the unique ID. And here we will create a image over here, and for that image let's go and add the image that we have, image 2, and let's, oh, it's too big over there, and let's add it as a resizable. So let us make it as a resizable, and we saw that, and add the aspect ratio. I guess aspect ratio should be something like a fit over here, and let's see how it look like over here. Okay, so we got a nice looking grid view over here. This is a simple grid view with a lazy grid view and with the for each loop. So we created a 3 column grid view, which is similar to what we did on our Flutter project over there. So this is the image that we have. This is a grid view, and it looks quite similar, right? And of course we have an app bar over here, but we don't have an app bar over there. So this is for our SwiftUI, and let us move with our Compose, or the Jetpack Compose project. So let me open up my project over here, and with our Compose project, what we will do is let us create a new function of the composable, and let's give a function name as image grid or something. So once we have this function, what we need to do is we will have to create a grid. For that I'll use lazy grid. I guess there is a lazy grid, right? A lazy it should be a vertical grid, so since we want to scroll vertically. And here we have a columns, and if you remember the columns, that was the quite similar that we had in with the SwiftUI, right? So in the columns, what we will do is we will define the columns. So let's say this one as a grid cell. I guess it's a grid cells dot. Okay, so I can use a fixed, and I can give a 3 column count of the 3. So this will create a 3 column on our application, and then I can give a content over here, And with this content, let's create a lambda over here. And here I have an option to add, similar to the list, we can add the items over here, or the item. So it is the item, sorry, it's the item, right? ITEMS. Okay, so once we got that items, I will just give a count of 50. I don't want to create a list and load it over here because we are just loading a static image over here. So I'll just create a count of the 50 items over here. And with this, I'll just add an image over here. And I guess we have an image already, so instead of creating it again, I think it's better that we just copy it from here. And then let's add that image over here, so we don't have to redo all of this stuff. So from here, I guess I can remove the size of this one, and maybe the size I don't need it. And padding, I guess I don't need the padding for this image too. And then the clip and the border also, I guess we don't need this two over here. And for this one, let's arrange it properly over here. And the clip, maybe you can just use instead of circle, just use a rectangle shape. Content, I guess instead of the crop, maybe you can use a fit. So let's try to play around with this one. And then we have this description and other stuff, and that should be I guess should be fine. So let's try to run this one in our application as well as in our this particular view over here. So from here, let me load this one from here over to here, and also let's go and add that one in our preview section over here. So we want to preview it, and let's try to run our application, and let's split the code over here. And here you can see we got a grid view, but it doesn't look pretty good. We can add a padding or a spacing over here. So for that, what you can do is let's go on to that particular view over here, and with this I think we can add the content padding is there, and with the content padding padding values, and I can set the horizontal horizontal with the edge.dp, and also with the VRTI vertical with the edge.dp. And with this I can refresh and see if I get any padding. And also I can add another one is the vertical arrangement, and with this vertical arrangement I guess I can add the arrangement I think arrangement I think arrangement that space between or spaced by. So arrangement dot, I think I can use a space by, and I can give it for the vertical spacing dot the dp. That should give a vertical spacement of the 8, and also I can have I guess there is a horizontal arrangement to arrangement, and arrangement dot the spaced by also let's give as a 8 dp over here. So I guess that should create some spacing for us. If you can see, there is a spacing. I guess it's not added, or okay, so I guess it's not revealed yet. So let's wait for this one to come up in okay, so we got the padding over here. So that means that when I open my application in the Illuminator, so you get a padding over here now. So that's look pretty cool and quite similar to what we have did with the SwiftUI and the Flutter. So I guess that's all over here. So we just created a simple grid with the static image over here, and in the actual application you may have to load the list over or the list of the items. So we have created a simple grid with our Jetpack Compose, SwiftUI, as well as with our Flutter project over here. So I guess that's all for this lesson, and let's meet up in the new one. Till then, have a great day.